What's up, movie lovers? It's your girl Rossie, and I'm back with another show for you guys. So, tonight we're going to talk video games. As you know, I talk all things media, okay? We're going to do our first video game show tonight. I have a special guest that's going to sit with me, and we're going to go back and forth and debate our top favorite video game movies, are the worst video game movies that we feel that's out there, and just video games in general. All right, his name is Jeson Johnson. He's a writer and an actor. I met him at the mogul meetups that I go to monthly, hosted by Buddy Lee, and I was able to meet him, and I was like, we start talking games, and I was like, you're coming on the show. So without any further ado, let's hit it, guys. What's up, Jeson?
What's going on?
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing really good. So tell the folks a little bit about you, what you
Well,
do,
well, I'm an actor and a screenwriter, and I also game. So
Yes.
I pretty much those are like the top three.
Yes, he does game. And so I'm wearing glasses tonight, guys, because with this show, we had to do a lot of research. Okay. So I gave him homework. All right. And so we're going to get into it. So we're going to start, guys, with first of all, Justin and I love video games. There's a game a movie that we don't quite agree with, but we'll give you guys that a little bit later. We're going to start off with um, our my top five, and then Justin's going to give you his top five. Or Justin, you want to go first?
Top five video game.
Top five worst video game movies that you feel that's or video games that you just don't like.
Top five. Oh my god.
You can start with one, and I'll go one.
You know what? Okay, I would say for me, worst video game movie is Uncharted.
Uncharted. Okay, guys. So we're going to start with that because for me, Uncharted was on one of my favorite video game movies, and only because of this, which he's going to disagree with. Okay, so I thought that the action, was exactly what we wanted. It was an action adventure film. I thought the actors were great, although I did feel like Sully's Mark Wahlberg playing Sully. He did all right, but I just wanted someone a little more aged to play that part. And as far as for Nathan, what's his name? What's Spider-Man's name? Tom Holland. Okay, so I thought Tom Holland did a good job, but he's not the Nathan that I, would want to play Nathan. But with all that, I thought the movie was overall good. There are parts of the movie that we do remember from the video game. A lot of the movie clips in the video game where he's hanging from, the airplane or from the train or whatever. They include all that fun things, plus, looking for artifacts. You go. What? Tell us now. What don't you like?
Well, honestly, I just didn't like the story in general. Like, if you played like all five games, it's one of those things where like the legacy is kind of like cemented already. So I feel like making a movie adaptation, I feel like the best option to honor what's already came before would have been just continue from where it last left off. Like have Tom Holland's character be a completely new character,
right?
And then have him go on a journey with. I don't know if you played all the games. I don't want to spoil anything.
I've played all the games.
You played all okay. So
I played all the games.
So like for instance, have Tom Holland's character go on an adventure with Nathan's daughter.
Okay. That can be. I can see that. Also, I think that they could have given it the Last of Us treatment. I think that if they would have did something like make it into a series, like you said, for instance, with Nathan's daughter and Tom Holland, like you can spin off from that.
Yeah.
But they could have gotten the series treatment, and we could have had what we have with The Last of Us. And who's to say they're not? Because that is. I mean, there's four games in the series.
Yeah.
the Uncharted series.
Yeah.
And so, like Jeson said, you know, there's a long storyline there that we can cut up and make into a series and watch it week by week, and even have a season two, because you can go on and on
Oh, you can. Yeah,
with the
there's a
Uncharted
lot.
story.
There's a
You
lot.
know, unlike The Last of Us, which I don't. To me, I think it's a one and done series. What do you think?
Um, I could see them adapting the second game,
Okay,
but I just don't know quite yet. Only because I've only seen like 2 episodes, but it is really good. But I don't. I can see them doing two.
right, right. Um, all right, guys. My first horrible video game movie. I didn't like. Okay. So here's the deal. So Justin and I were when we are getting ready for the show, sitting in the studio, you know, we were going over our list, and he's laughing at me, but I'm serious about this one. This is my number one worst video game movie, and it's Super Mario Brothers 1993. Now I know that there's a 2023 Super Brothers that's coming out, and maybe I'll watch it, but I couldn't even make it through the 1993 Mario Brothers, and let me tell you, I was a Super Mario Brothers girl. I played all three games. No, I've never won the games because I it was just too hard. But I get the gist of the games and I like the games. The fact that they even thought of making a Super Mario Brothers game, I just didn't understand why. Because how could you make something like that into a video game? But they did, and they even got John Leguizamo and Rob Hopkins to Hoskins to be in this game, and we know who John Leguizamo is. And if you look up Rob Hoskins, you can, you know, you see he has a body of work as well. And so I don't know how they got them to do this or why they got them to do this, but I'm just being honest. I just did not like that movie at all. But I love the game. It did not give the game justice. So what do you think?
I agree. No, I agree
You
wholeheartedly.
see?
That
Okay,
adaptation, I don't even know where they were going with that.
right,
Uh,
right. The
I mean,
second,
Yoshi was. Ugh.
yeah, right, exactly. Okay,
I'm
so
like Yoshi was a whole dragon. It
I'm like, who are these
was like
people?
this. It was like this steampunk. The steampunk thing. It didn't work.
Right, it
I'm
didn't
not
work.
even
They
gonna say
tried to go
anything
with
on Bowser, but that was. Oof.
it was rough. Okay, so
Yes.
I just don't know why, just why. But anyways, it happened. Okay, um, what's the second worst video game to you?
Second
Game
worst
or
video
movie
game movie. I'd probably say
or
the
video
recent
game?
Resident Evil film. What was the recent one? It was like Raccoon City, I believe. Which I forgot which one.
Yeah, yeah, that was. I didn't. Did you see that one?
Yeah, the film.
Yeah, the Raccoon City one.
Yeah,
What
that.
did you think?
Oh my no.
And that's another thing is go ahead, Justin. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm mad because there are certain things about the game that we already know. There are characters that are already established
Right,
in the world. So, like for
right,
instance, what they did with Leon, I was like,
right.
I know he's a rookie, I know he's new, but he's not this dumb. I mean, literally, he's literally the scene literally goes. He has his earphones in. He's just sitting at the desk, not noticing a zombie on fire just walking through the front door. I'm like, I'm trying to figure out. Like, I get it. It was a fun scene. It's like, oh, cool. They did the sound
Right,
off thing, cool. But I'm like, you're that oblivious to what's going on outside. Like, you don't hear nothing, no explosions, nothing. I'm like,
right.
they did him so wrong. And then
See, I always felt like with the Resident Evil movies, I mean, one of the first one made my list for good movies, guys, all right? But one thing about it is I wanted Resident Evil that I played in 1996, all right, or 99 or whatever, when it came out, okay? I wanted to see the mansion. I wanted to see Barry. I wanted to see
yes,
Jill. I wanted to see
yes,
Wesker. I wanted to see the original characters. I thought I didn't I just didn't understand why would you not even talk about Jill? Like you can do all that other stuff you want to do with
mhm,
the Resident Evil Apocalypse,
right,
but with the first game, give us what we know. You
right,
know, make a game around that we're used to, and the people that you originally introduced us to,
yeah.
those people. I don't know why they got rid of Barry. I don't know why they brought in other people, but I didn't like it. And I will tell you guys this. Um, now because I thought the Resident Evil, the very first movie, should have been something around the house. All right.
That would have been great.
For some reason, I do have to say this, guys. I don't know why with Resident Evil. I get that Umbrella is a lot, but it's not the only thing. Like there's characters, you know what I mean, that we it's just it's a problem for me. But the 2002 Resident Evil movie did make my list, all right? Okay, so I'm gonna go to my number two, not favorite video game series or movie. It's The Witcher 2. So
Ooh,
here's my issue with The Witcher 2.
okay.
I have a problem with the fact that you come out with the season one that's freaking awesome. Every single episode awesome. We understand it. If you read the books, you get it. If you played the game, you
Right.
get it. I played Wild Hunt, and so I know the story, and I played other ones. Okay, so you have one good. You did the first season good. Then you come back with the season two, and the first episode it was good. Then all of a sudden, as the episodes go on, why are we doing this? Where is Geralt? Why are we? I know Yennefer has a lot to do with it, but not like that, guys. Like you totally
Mm,
strayed from the book, you strayed from the game. They did their own thing. So for that, I stopped watching. I can't do it, and I made it to like episode five, and I fell asleep.
mm.
I fell asleep on episode five.
No.
I couldn't I couldn't. So I'm pretty hard on them for that because they had a good thing. And sometimes you guys just stick with what's been given to you. Have a book, you have a game, stick with it. Kind of like when we're going to go back to The Last of Us, kind of like what they did. And we'll talk about that later because that's on Jeson and I's like one of our
Oh
favorites.
yes, yes, no.
Let's see, Jeson, you're number three. You're number three. What do you?
Ooh, I don't really watch video game adaptations. Let's see.
Well, just a video game that came out that you thought, it was supposed to be good and it let you down.
Not gonna lie, The Last of Us 2 did that for me.
Yes, I agree with you. What was it about The Last of Us 2 game that you just didn't care for?
I feel like it's mainly the story. Like, especially coming off of the first one, I was
Right,
like, okay. I was like, okay, this is nice. Like where are we gonna go? Because I honestly thought Last of Us was just a one and done. I didn't think
right,
I was like, okay, well, that's that. But when the second one came out and the way it started, I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. Until we found out like the main antagonist wasn't Abby, I believe was her name.
right,
Yeah, like her whole backstory was I don't know. To me, it felt shoehorned in because I'm like, it would be the doctor that Joe killed
right,
in the rescue. Just I'm like, out of all the people it could have been,
right.
and like I get why she was mad, but why would you hold a grudge for so long?
See,
Is what I'm trying to figure out. Like I do understand it, and like especially after you met the man that did
right.
it and the reason why, and you still took it upon yourself. I'm just like, I'm like, okay,
I feel you on that. I absolutely I love the Last of Us. Obviously the first one. Who didn't like the first one? The
yeah,
fact that we found out it was going to be a series or a movie. It's a series.
yeah.
Really good. The second game, yeah, a little disappointing, So graphics good, all that other stuff is good. It's just again they it's sometimes they just take a different turn that gamers just doesn't don't want. So unfortunately, my number four, because we talked about Resident Evil, Silent Hill, the 2006 Silent Hill. I was really excited about the Silent Hill movie because I played, let's see, I played all four games. I think the last game I played was The Apartment. Yeah, I think that's the last one I played. Anyways, I was a big Silent Hill fan. I loved the first one, loved the story. It was just a scary horror game that's just it was everything at the time that it came out. And so when they decided to make a movie, I was really excited. My problem is that I don't know who this woman is, because um, and I have to say that Rose De Silva did a great job, but I don't know why this woman is here. I thought it would be the husband who went to Silent Hill to look for his daughter who was lost, and that's his whole journey is to do that. Okay, they did something different in the film. I mean, I did like certain parts of the film. I thought that they got some of the creatures right. I think the nurses. But just overall, it wasn't what I was expecting, so I didn't really care for that. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. And
Oh man.
Anyways, Jeson, go ahead.
Let me see. Let me see. What's my fourth one? What's my fourth one? Caught me at a bad time. I haven't played games recently. Now I'm just like,
Okay. Then
hmm.
let's, well, how about we'll do this because I was reading him my list and some of the stuff on my list. He was like, okay, so I'm going to do that. And then he's going to respond to this. Okay. So
Okay, what you got?
the last worst movie I would have to say was Blood Rain. It's a 2005 film. It's directed by U Bowl. So a little history on U Bowl. This was a guy in the mid 2000s, 2000s to mid 2000s, and he would make video game movies. Okay, he'd make other movies, but video game movies. He did Assassin's Creed. He did Blood Rain. He did some other things, and there are movies that he did that I do like. But
I
go
have
ahead,
one.
go ahead.
I have one. I
Okay.
forgot about this movie entirely. Prince of Persia.
Oh my gosh, he did Prince of Persia too.
Jesus.
Yes, yes, Prince of Persia. Oh my god, and it was Jake Gyllenhaal. I think he
Yes.
played. Yes, I.
Oh my god. Dang, I was trying to remember. I was like, I know there's a bad video
I'm
game.
so happy you brought that's
I
on the list of
forgot.
movies. Tell us about. Did you saw it or did
I
you saw
did.
clips of it?
Oh my god.
Tell us about it,
It
please.
was just so much. Where's the thing? Jake Gyllenhaal as the prince isn't a bad pick. It's
Okay,
actually not that bad. It's a lot closer than I think we were gonna get. I was like,
okay,
okay, that's fine. But just this again, it's I don't know what it is about the story. Like even going back to the first game, even going back to the first game,
okay.
there's a lot of like just small nuances that could have been taken and improved on what the game was. Like, okay, when you start off, you're the prince. They could have literally took the film and showed everything going on around him, then
Right.
center in. They literally just jumped in. Hey, look, there's a dagger. You click it. What happens? I'm like, that's like there's a lot more to it than that. And okay,
Right.
and for some reason, it was kind of inconsistent in how much sand was in the dagger. Like he kept clicking it. I swear, at least like 5 times.
Really?
I remember the game. There was a meter. You can only use it like maybe twice if you're lucky.
Right, right,
It wasn't like a pin. You just okay. I'm just about to die.
right, right, right. That's
Ah,
hilarious.
why?
I was looking up U Bowl's films today because I wanted to mention him.
Okay.
And I saw the Prince of Persia. I know he did that. And then I saw Jake Gyllenhaal with the long hair, and I said, "What? What? How did I miss that?" I mean, it was just, and he had this 80s like glamour glam rock look. And I just remember I was gonna take a picture. I remember seeing that, and that was really hilarious. But yeah, he did Prince of Persia, but he also did some really good movies. I thought he did these. It's called Rampage, and he did Rampage 1, Rampage 2, and it was really good.
Yeah, I
Okay,
check
so
out
I
Rampage.
liked it. Also, I just want to mention this about the U Bowl films.
Mm,
One thing about his films is like with Blood Rain, he had I have my notes here and
okay.
I couldn't believe it. Okay, so he had huge actors that would be in his film. He had Michael Madsen in
Okay.
Blood Rain. He had what else? What's the guy's name? Christiana Loken, she played Rain. Vladimir was Michael Madsen.
Oh my.
Ben Kingsley. Ben Kingsley played Kagan.
Oh my
And
god.
Billy Zane played is it Victor? So in a lot of his movies, guys, like he had huge celebrities that would be in his films. It
Dang.
was just it just didn't it wasn't in the game Blood Rain, if you remember, she's a vampire that she's out and
Yes.
she's killing Nazis. That's what she
Yes.
does.
Yes.
In the movie, though, let me get my little notes here because I wanted to make sure I hadn't.
Took
Okay.
out the package. She was like,
I
yeah,
just
just
want to
notes.
tell you something. Just let me tell you something real quick, guys. Wait, this is my good list. I don't want to read on that one, but let me get my bad list, okay? Because I wanted to take notes. Okay, so we know what Blood Rain is about in the
Yes.
game. Here's what it is about in the movie. Here's the synopsis. In
Okay.
the 18th century, okay, that's right. A vampire escapes from the freak show in which she once participated and teams up with a group of vampire slayers to kill the man who raped her mother. Never knew about that in the game. So they took a different, and that's him being creative, but
I-
right?
okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. I was like,
Because I'm like, I played the game. I don't remember that subplot
I don't
anywhere.
remember that. She killed Nazis. She killed Nazis. That's what she did. There was a great story around it. And I think did hers come out before Devil May Cry or after, but I think it was, maybe it was after Devil May Cry, because some of the actions that she did, like it was, she could backflip, she could have all
Oh, I
these,
think.
remember? So I don't know if
Wait, what
God
year?
of War or that one came out first or not, who borrowed from it, but the game itself was really good when it came
The
out.
game was
I
nice.
remember playing it and just enjoying this game when it came out. But the movie, creative, but it wasn't. I don't know who those
I
people
kind of
are.
want to see the movie now, even though like I haven't. I really like because I remember the game fondly.
Right,
So I'm,
right.
I'm
You
kind of
gotta like the movie, like the acting wasn't bad. It was just a
okay.
different story that took a different direction. But I would have to
Mhm.
say, go back and watch it and check out some of Bowl's other films. Like
Okay.
he did a lot. So his is like a bittersweet. Like you know how there are some movies that are just so bad they're so good and they
Yeah.
become cult classics. That's Bowl. He is a legend. He
Okay.
really is. So that's his thing. Sorry, I
Okay.
keep hitting that. Also, so that was it. Okay, Blood Rain, and at the time that movie got 2.9 out of 10. Just to let you know, it did make the bad list.
Oh my God.
So we're gonna start with our good list, okay? So I'll mention them and you just respond. We
It's fine.
talked about
We'll see.
Uncharted, which we both, we don't agree, but we agree with some things, okay? And let me see. Joanne said that the Walking Dead video game is cool. That's my son's favorite. And then she said, I love Super Mario Brother games, but yes, the movie was ridiculous. Absolutely, Joanne. Thank you. And that's my sister. We're a year
Nice.
apart, and so we both played games, and we both was just very disappointed with the Mario Brothers movie. So she knows how that is. And as far as The Walking Dead, let me do an honorable mention. So The Walking Dead games, I loved the Telltale
I was just about to say with
Walking
the
Dead.
Telltale series, right?
Okay, the Telltale. Now let me
Telltale.
tell you, that needs to have an honorable mention
Yeah.
because the way that they did the shell shading. I love games that are shell shaded like that.
Yeah.
The way that the story took place, like it was a series that you'd play. Okay, so you get the episode one, episode two, but
Yeah.
they did it so good. Like you felt like, for me, I felt like I was there. Like I felt so
Yeah.
connected to the very first game when I forget his name, but the dude died that was helping a little girl along the way. They
Yeah.
did such a great job. I really love the Telltale Walking Dead game. So they're my favorite. You feel the same way. They did a great
Yeah,
job.
no, it's a very immersive way to play, especially
Absolutely.
when you get to make the decisions yourself and
Yes.
it changes the outcome. It's like, okay,
Yes.
what would I do in this situation? Oh, I
Right.
shouldn't have did that. Like,
Yeah, it's just so good, and you can replay it so many times
yeah,
because
you get
there's
so
so many
many different
different
outcomes.
ways
Yeah,
that you can play it. I played them all, loved them all. The last one, I thought they did a great job with the last one, introducing the family, that the grandpa or the grandma got sick, and it was on, and you felt that desperation
yep,
because you had to make choices and you had
yeah,
to make good choices. So for them, that was great. And
yeah.
I know they already have a Walking Dead, series out, but
Mhm.
Telltale was fun. I wouldn't expect for them to do a series or anything. The game itself was fun, and I hate that they
Yeah.
stopped making them. They also did a Wolf Among Us. I think that was another one of
Ooh,
Telltale.
okay.
And that one also is a series, and that's really good. So you should go and check out the Telltale games. I think you can get them
Yeah,
for like $5, $6, $7, but
yeah,
they're really good, guys. Let's see. We decided that Tomb Raider would be our was it our number two for,
yes. I
and we're
can.
talking about Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Okay, not all of them were good, but 2001 to 2003, I noted they weren't bad. What did you think about Angelina Jolie as Tomb Raider when it first came
Well,
out?
I mean, what's really funny is even looking at like the character model in the game, it's like who exactly would you pick for Tomb
Right,
Raider? But
right,
especially during the time period, like who else would you pick but
right.
Angelina Jolie at that time? So
Exactly.
like
That was
she
built like
literally
that.
embodied the character. I was like, oh, this is perfect. I
Abs-
was like, oh, this works.
Absolutely.
Like this
I'm
definitely
with you.
works. Especially like some of the references, like with some of the actions that they did. I was like, yes, I can have more of this. This is great.
I loved it. And her being able to change her what is it? Dialect, is it? Is that
Yes.
okay? For her to be able to change that
Yes.
was just, it immersed you into the movie itself. And it was easy because with Tomb Raider, it's not like you know what she does. You know what she's going to do. She's always out
Exactly.
trying to find artifacts to save the world or to stop someone evil.
Mhm.
So she just did a great job. It's exactly what you expected. You know, you went on the hunt for her with her for artifacts. The action was good. She did a great job, and she was
Right.
at her best. That's when she was at her best. So good pick with Tomb Raider. Let's see. Mac Ray Lee Mingo says Clementine's journey will not be forgotten.
Oh my
That is
god. That's
that
my
is is
sister.
that your sister? Hi sis.
Just
Well, your
everybody's
sister's
sisters
absolutely
is
right.
coming on here today.
Right? Thank you guys for being in the chat. And please, anyone else that's just watching, please hit the like, please share, please subscribe, and please come into the chat and talk with us because who doesn't like video games?
Right.
So, Jess and sister, you're right. I mean, Clementine's journey will not be forgotten. And
Right.
throughout the whole thing is Clementine's journey. And it was just good. And you cared. I mean, I never cried so much in a video game like I cried in that video game. Like, seriously, especially when, what's, is it Marie?
Marie. Yeah.
Mari. Mari, what was the guy's name that was with Clementine in the first series? I can't think of his name, but you remember when he died, I cried because what is going to happen to Clementine because she
Right.
depended on him. So thank you so much. That is so true. And I have forgot her name was Clementine, so I appreciate you doing that. Let's see. Oh, okay, Monster Hunter. So I was able to see Monster Hunter. I loved the movie Monster Hunter. It came out in 2020, and we have our girl who played in all the Resident Evil movies, Mila Jovovich.
Mhm.
She plays the lead in Monster Hunter, and we also have Ron Perlman. We even have Ti in this film. It was,
I'm
and I
sorry.
was
Whenever
telling
you say Ti in the Monster Hunter, I that turns me off. I'm like, how?
I know I was telling him about that. I was like, even Ti was in it. He was like, really? So Ti played one of the soldiers, and
Oh,
he ends up getting killed, but he played one of the soldiers. So easy part. It was a really good film. If you've ever played the Monster Hunter games, they're really good. I think there's a new one that's out. It's like a sister a parent company or whatever
yeah,
of Monster Hunter. It's out under a different name, the video game. But the
yeah.
movie
That's
itself, I was shocked. I didn't think I'd like it. It was really good. I loved the effects. I loved the monsters. It was just a really good ride from the beginning to the end. So I was surprised because I'm not one that would watch something like that. So I that made one of my favorite. That was number three or number five. Okay, and
number five.
then we both agree that The Last of Us was
Oh yes,
number one top right now. That's
yes. Yeah.
that's it. What do you like about the series so far and what you've seen so far?
And what I've seen, one of the things I love, I even have to go back to like the cutscenes from the game because I was like, okay, I want to see the fact that in episode one alone, it made me forget the outcome. I was like, oh, this is nice. I was like, okay, I was like, oh, this is nice. We didn't get to see Hope that much. We finally get to. This is nice. And
Right.
then as soon as you get to the part that everyone knows is there,
Right,
I'm just like, damn. Like I'm just like, why?
right,
And also, I like it. Like I said, I love the amount of detail that we get.
right, right. Really quick. Mari says his name is Lee. Jojo, thank you too. It's Lee. His name is Lee. That's the guy that is on the journey with Clementine from the first season to I don't know how many games he lasted, but I think maybe to the end of that season or the next game. But anyways, oh my gosh. Like these were like real people to me, you guys. I'm sorry. I have to go back to Telltale. You guys don't understand. Like I love games and I love games that make you forget that you're even like
Yeah.
you're in their world. Okay. I
Mhm.
love when and Telltale just did such a good job to do The Walking Dead like this because there was another game, a Walking Dead game that came out a couple of years ago. And I remember
Really?
seeing the clips at E3.
Okay.
It was E3, probably E3 2015, maybe 2016, and it was an awesome looking Walking Dead. It was from the series The Walking Dead, not
Okay.
the Telltale. When it came out, they demolished the game. It was they y'all y'all
Oh.
they did so much with the graphics and
Oh.
everything. When the gameplay itself, people just demolished it. So I never played it. Maybe I will, but there's some
Oh,
reviewers that I'll listen to and will take their word for it. Okay, or
okay.
I'll wait till the game like drops to like what maybe $5 because I'm not spending like 40, $50 on a game that didn't get a good review. That's just me though.
That's a good point. That's a good
Um,
point.
for me, the Last of Us, and also guys, John DiGregorio with Movie Lovers Unite every Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. They do an after show of the Last of Us, and I didn't join them tonight. I'll probably join them next week, but
Nice.
I'm loving it so far. I just caught up with the last episodes, I think five, the last two episodes that premiered this past
Okay.
Sunday and the Sunday before that. I love it. Someone on the show that we do the rewatch with, or the after show with, had mentioned that the scene itself, the scenery itself, is like part of the
Yeah.
series. Like it takes
Yeah.
of a life of its own. I mean, you recognize if you played the game, you recognize everything about the game and the extra stuff that they brought in that wasn't even part of the game, but it makes the story come complete. Like the daughter, gorgeous, beautiful. Love that part of
Right.
her getting to know her neighbors and going over there. So far so good. I have to give a shout out to Bella Ramsey who plays Ellie and Pedro Pascal who
Yes.
plays Joel. The connection between those two is just so good. So you guys, if you haven't watched The Last of Us, it's on HBO. Check it out. They're doing a good job, and right now they're killing it as far as video game
Man.
movie
Yes.
series or whatnot. So that's our list for our top five and our top five worst and best. Now,
Yes.
I do want to mention there are games that I feel that should be made into movies. Do you have a game that you like that you feel should have a movie or
Ooh.
series treatment?
This is kind of an old one, but
Okay.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Shadow Man movie or a series.
Oh my gosh, you and I are in tune. That is so awesome that you said that because guess what I have here in my handy dandy notes? I have a synopsis because Shadow Man is on my list of
Okay.
it was number 2 on my list. Listen, you want to tell have you play Shadow Man?
Yes.
Tell them about Shadow Man.
I grew up playing it. It's amazing. But I'm imagining, oh my God, there's so much about that game.
Yes.
I'm imagining what can be done with the technology we have now.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, this would be the perfect game to adapt. Like,
Absolutely.
like especially like dealing with the whole shaman thing. Of
Yep.
course, it's going to be interesting to see like
Yeah.
the adaptation. But I mean, just everything about that game. This even like the lava areas. There's so
Oh
much
my
that could
gosh.
be like just pure eye candy,
Oh my
pure eye
gosh.
candy. I was like, okay,
So
that
true.
that would probably be my top one. My
Absolutely.
top one.
Absolutely. I played Shadow Man. I played Shadow Man 2. The first Shadow Man. So, guys, here's a little bit about Shadow Man. So, it's a cryptic action adventure about an undead voodoo warrior known as the Shadow Man who must stop Jack the Ripper and the biblical demon called Legion, who plan to bring about the apocalypse using the souls of 5 notorious serial killers. So, that's the game. And he has to gain, like, to be able to swim under lava, to walk on lava, to
Yes.
like all this stuff. But the game is excellent. It's one of the best games that I've ever played,
And
ever. The storyline, when you go to meet the voodoo priest and the pig
Yes. Oh my
souls,
God.
the shooting, the remember that?
Yes.
Remember
Yeah. Oh my God,
that?
I love it. It's like I'm like, so what are you doing, man? It's like, yeah, but it works. It is very
It's great. They need to absolutely bring Shadow Man back. Give
yes.
it a PS5 treatment, Xbox treatment. I don't care, but that game deserves to be remade. And
I know they had a
you know,
remaster, but I
yes, they
definitely
do for the
wouldn't. I would definitely
Xbox.
take a remake. I would
Yes,
definitely take a remake of that entire game.
absolutely. And I didn't know there was a remaster. I was just looking up Shadow Man today and found out. I'm like, a remaster
Yeah,
for
I know.
Xbox One and Xbox, like, I didn't know that.
I'm like, why didn't y'all just do a full on remake? I'll wait.
Yeah, no, I absolutely. I've been feeling this way for years, and I'm telling you guys, that's a game where I've cried, I've thrown my controller down, I've thrown it at the
So many
TV.
times.
I've waited a month before I go back to play it because it is a hard game. It came out in '99 on the PS2. Um, it was just a great game. The story itself, the little brother who he constantly hears all the time, and this was like really for me the first black lead that like
Yes.
superhero in a game.
Yes.
Who was it? I think he was a detective that died. So
Yeah.
for me, just that me seeing that cover, I didn't even know what the game was about. I just walked in the GameStop or the game place at the time, saw that, was looking for something different, saw him on the cover, never saw a black, uh,
Right.
video game hero at the time on the cover. I picked it up because of that, and I'll be honest, because of that, and took it home and was like, wow. Acclaim, who I think is the publisher, Acclaim did a great job with Shadow Man. They even came out with a Shadow Man, I think, two. I don't know if there was a three. I know I played two,
Right.
and it was all right. It wasn't the best, but I love Shadow Man. So at that time, I was a fan. I'm supporting anything that they do. So,
You probably had a
you know,
better experience than me. You did say you played it on the PS2. I played mine
yeah.
on the Nintendo 64. So
Oh, okay.
it's a
And
little.
I didn't even
So
know
yes,
they were out on
so
play.
yes, a lot of controller throwing. Yes, for sure.
Yes. Oh, you listen, you are going to cry, okay?
Yes.
You are going to get stressed out because games at that time were a little bit harder than
Yes.
the games that we play today. I mean, there's another game called oh my gosh, her name was Ava. It was a oh, it was a
Wait, Eva. Wait.
oh, it was what software company was that? I hated. Oh
What
my
game is
gosh.
this?
Oh, I can't think of the name. Parasite Eve.
Oh.
Parasite Eve.
Oh yes. Okay. Yes.
Parasite Eve. That's another one. That was an awesome video game.
Really great game.
I don't know if it needs a movie, but that's another just game that was really great at the time. I played the first one, I played the second one, I played the third one. Really hard games, great story, awesome cutscenes, but that was another good game at
The
that
second one
time.
is my favorite. Second one is
You
my
like
favorite.
the second one?
Just because of
Yeah.
the abilities, I was like, okay, I like these new mechanic. Okay, I like these
Yeah,
new.
the new gun attachments. I mean, that was one
Yes.
game where you can do mod out your gun so much, and it took a long time. Like when you get ready to play, it's you have to set up everything, set up your abilities before you start playing a game because
Great.
the different creatures that you encounter. I mean, when you're at the hotel and
Yeah.
you have that boss battle
Ooh,
with
I
that
hated that.
horse or whatever it was, that was just the boss battles were crazy. Hard game, but so much fun.
Right.
You just have to take your time little by little and get through the game. But that was great.
Mhm.
And I was one of those gamers that if it was a game and it had a walkthrough, I needed the walkthrough. So
Yeah.
anyone knew if you got me a video game for Christmas, you better buy me the walkthrough. I would go to, like, I'm from Portland, Oregon. So I go to Powell Books
Ooh.
and call them up and be like, you got this walkthrough? And drive all the way across town to get these walkthroughs because I love to have the walkthrough with the game because with Resident Evil, the first one, I got stuck for months. I couldn't figure out how to get out of the frick. I didn't know that there was a boathouse or I didn't know how to get out the mansion. And it took forever because it
Yeah.
was so dark and you didn't know and I felt
Yeah.
so bad. So yeah. I think that Ghost of Tsushima, I think that would be a great series or a movie. Have
That
you
would be
played?
interesting, especially considering the time period. That would be an interesting one to see.
Absolutely. And his story of, wanting to avenge his father's death,
Yeah.
and in his story, he takes off from there. And I just thought the game itself was great. The story was great.
Yeah.
The fighting was just amazing. It was kind of like playing the controls and the Wild Hunt, with The
Yeah.
Witcher. The controls in that game was freaking excellent. So I thought Ghost of Tsushima would be
This
great.
is pretty good.
What about you? You got another
Hmm.
number two?
Let's see, another video game. I feel like just looking at I've never played the game, but I feel like a good adaptation would probably be Life is Strange. I feel like Life
Oh,
is
Life
Strange
is
would
Strange.
be
That's right.
yeah. I
That's
feel like I
right.
feel like Life is Strange would be an interesting, like I believe, series because I think you
Yes,
make choices in that
it's
game as
series.
well.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like that would be interesting. Have like an interactive series and see
right,
the different outcomes. I feel like that would be
right.
really
Yeah, the Life is Strange. Those games are really good. It is a series, and there's a part two that came out. And
Yeah,
so far, these games are killing it as well. Life is Strange is a
yeah.
good game. I think they won some awards. It's a really good game. So if you guys haven't checked out Life is Strange, you can get that for about $15, maybe $10. It's a really good series to play. My third one would be, of course, God of War. I don't care what God of War. You can do the Greek God of War. You can do the Viking God of War. Whichever one. There's a
Mm.
story to be told. Jeson does not agree, and he's going to let us know why.
Well, well, because like the God of War games are just excellent all around. Like, so it's like, does it really need a movie or a series?
You're right. You're right. But I
Like,
mean, if we wanted, a game, a really good game that's a movie, I think that that would be good. You are right
I
though,
can
because
see
have
it.
you
I
ever
can
just
see
watched
it.
the cutscenes? Have you just ever gone and watched a walkthrough of the God of War game
Yeah.
without and you just see it and it's like a movie. You can watch it for like an
Oh
hour
yeah.
plus.
Yeah.
You can. I've done that. I've literally come home on a Saturday night, put on the God of War cutscenes, and tell the story, and sit there and watch it like it's a movie, and watch all of it, all 3 hours, sometimes all 2 hours,
But I'm
sometimes.
trying to
But
think. But I'm trying to think. So, if you do a God of War movie, where would you start? Would you start with the first one, or would you
um,
start with the new one?
I would start with the new one, because
Interesting. Okay.
we've done. We have the what was that, the 100, what was that movie, with what's his, Russell Crowe.
So, which movie?
um he did the what is it, the Greek movie, where they were,
Like, there's a lot of Russell Crowe
oh my
movies.
gosh, he played the, oh my gosh, just a
Oh
second, let
no.
me do this. um the reason why I wouldn't say do the God of War from the Greek games is
Okay.
because there are games out there that already, have that going on. It was,
Okay.
the 100, the where he's, it's a really good, the movie came out a few years ago. It
Okay.
was really good. He was, a warrior. What do they call those, in Rome? What do you call the Rome?
Spartan.
Spartan. There you go. There you go. The Russell Crowe played, was it the last of the Spartans, or the
Okay.
Sparta, whatever, something like that. Anyways, that's been done. To me, that's been done. So if you're gonna do a God of War movie, why not pick up with
Start
the
with the
whole
new
Viking
one with
thing?
the Norse. Okay.
If they must, and I know that there's a Viking series that's out, but I think the new Ragnarok, I think that'd be really cool because, I'm playing it so far. And have you played the new God of
I
War?
I literally beat it in 2 weeks.
That's right, sure did, because I told you don't tell me anything
I'm
about it.
I'm
I'm spoiler.
I want to say
But
okay.
no, but don't do spoiler alerts for me, because I'm
Okay.
just I'm just in the beginning. But I think I told you where I am. I
You
just
did.
met
You
Odin.
did. You did.
I just met Odin.
You're not too far. Well,
Go ahead.
okay.
No, go ahead. Talk. Tell him. Tell him.
It's okay. Well, I'm just. Oh my god, why so much? I don't want to spoil anything.
Say it.
Why?
Just say it. Spoiler alert, guys.
Well, well, it's not really. It's not really that. It's not that
Okay.
big. But just in terms of like what is it called? What is it called? Jesus. Um, what Asgard looks like?
Yeah. Okay.
That'd be great
Right.
visually, just to
Right.
see what that would look like.
Absolutely. They can do a lot with that. Graphically, they can do a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm in the early stages. And one thing for the viewers out there, guys, podcasts, the listeners, or YouTube. So John and I are going to be giving away. It's a free download of the video game God of War Ragnarok. Um, I have um, I have a free download. So um, John and I are going to go live next week. We're going to review the menu. When we review the menu, we'll let you know. It's going to be like some type of trivia question. If you answer the trivia question right, you inbox John or I, movie lovers, or my email. And the first one who does that, I will send you the download to God of War 5 Ragnarok. Okay, so we're giving that away. All right, and and it's really good. So if you don't have it, guys, you got to get it.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. There was a game called Spec Ops. Did you ever play 2012 Spec Ops?
What is Spec Ops? That sounds really interesting.
Okay, so Spec Ops is it was a 2012 shooter.
Okay.
And let's see, I'm getting my notes for it. because I wanted to make sure I give you guys the synopsis. This was one of the best shooters. It was out on the Xbox 360. It was not a PlayStation game. I just happened to pick it up because I sometimes I just like to go to the video game store, pick up something new that I've never played, and so I got Spec Ops, and I was absolutely surprised. I probably played this game like 10, 11 times because
Oh my god.
it's so much fun. So let's see. I didn't get my last printed paper, but I do have it here, and I'll let you guys know about Spec Ops. You can get it for the Xbox 360. I don't know if they remade it, but this was an
Oh,
awesome freaking video game. It was in the midst of your Call of Duties, okay? But your early days Call of Duties and your early days what is it? Another one. But Spec Ops was about here we go. It was called Spec Ops: The Line, and
okay.
um, let's see the overview. Here we go. Okay, so it was a series of tactical shooters, and there was three of them, but I like the line was the best one to me.
Okay.
It was from Zombie Studios, and it was about these soldiers who were in Dubai. And in Dubai at the time, there were these horrible sandstorms that was devastating. The
Mm,
elites didn't want that to get out to the world. They didn't want the world to know that this was going on and that they were secretly evacuating people in that
mm,
town. So a lot of things were going on with the government in Dubai. So you have these special ops soldiers that went over there, and the game starts. The shooting is awesome. The story is absolutely amazing. The cutscenes, like this
okay.
was such a good game that this game maybe it doesn't deserve a movie, but it does deserve a remake, a
Okay.
remaster. Like this is a game that you want to know about. But this was an awesome game. I had such a fun time. It was kind of like a horror game. It kind of did what Fear. Remember the game Fear?
Yeah.
Okay, this was out before Fear.
Oh.
So yeah, so it kind of did some of the cutscenes like Fear would do. That's what Spec
It's
Ops did.
okay.
So it was just an innovative game. It was such a great game, and like I said, that's why I can go back to it and just play it so many times. I still have my Xbox
Yeah.
360 hooked up, and I play it on there sometimes and just have a great time. So Spec Ops: The Line, check that out, guys. Literally, you can get that for like $5, $6
Okay.
for
I'll have
and
to check that out.
it's replayable. Like it's aged well. Okay, the graphics aren't
Oh,
too
okay.
bad. Okay, it's aged well, but the story is just it's an amazing story. It really is. Do you have another one?
Mm, an adaptation. An adaptation. Hmm. I guess a good. What is a good game? I don't know. It's like I don't know anymore.
What do you think about Red Dead? Do you think Red Dead? Do you think that's
Mm,
possible, or do you think it's just it's a western? Anybody can do it. There's
I'm
nothing
pretty. I mean, as soon as you said Red Dead, the first thing I thought of was Yellowstone. I was like, it's.
right. Yeah,
I
you're
was
so
like, it's a
right.
lot
You're
of.
right. That's so true. That is
It's a
true.
very strong similarity.
Yes. Someone was telling me about that. Someone I work with we were talking about Red Dead, and he asked me that, well, have you seen Yellowstone? And I'm like, no, I haven't seen it yet, but it's on my watch list. And he's like, have you ever seen
Mhm.
1889? I'm like, no. He's like, it's Red Dead.
Okay.
He's like, it's Red Dead. He's like, it's the town, everything they did.
That's
It
hilarious.
basically, it Red Dead did such a great job on graphics. They did such a great
Mhm.
job on the ranches, the old days, the trains, the all
Yeah.
that. And apparently it looks, it's similar to Yellowstone. So we would say that we already have a Red Dead. But I put that on the list just to put it on the list. So,
I actually do have one game that I do feel
okay.
would benefit from a movie.
Okay.
Alan Wake is a pretty good game.
Wow. What a
Alan Wake
throwback.
is a good game. Yeah, so I had
What
never
a
played it.
throwback.
So when it got remastered, I played the remaster, and
Okay.
I was like, this is actually really good. It's very unique,
Yeah.
like in the gameplay, like
Right.
using the flashlight to actually. I
Um,
was like, this is nice, and I found out they were
right.
making a second one. There's no info on that. I wanted to. I'm curious to see where it was going to go after the first one,
Absolutely.
but I can see Alan Wake benefiting from a movie.
Your sister says, I like to see the Life is Strange True Color series.
Is that like a third installment to the one? I know
Is it?
I've
I don't
seen
know. I
one
know I
and
saw the
two.
second one, but I don't know.
I'm curious what True Colors. Oh
I'm
my
curious too as well. I'm also curious. Look that up. See if yeah,
I'm definitely gonna see if that's a thing. Wait,
see if that is something because your sister knows games. I tell you that much.
I see. It's,
You know, I think I remember playing Alan Wake when it came out. I think it was a 360 game, and when the 360 was coming out, and yeah, the flashlight, it was something different. The story was something
yeah.
different. You could totally see it as a movie. Absolutely. Unfortunately, Rossi did not make it through the game because that game is hard. That original one was hard. I mean, I got stuck in a woods. The things was
Yeah,
creeping around me. I'm
yeah,
with my
no, yeah,
flashlight.
that's definitely.
I had to bow out, guys. Okay, but I love the game. I loved it. It was just sometimes it's just some games are just a little bit too difficult. Okay, but the remastered one, I will get just to have, and I will absolutely play the new one if that comes
Okay,
out.
so True
Good to hear.
Colors. So I think True Colors is the third installment. It came out in 2021.
Okay.
So I
Oh,
think
your
it's
sister was
probably
awesome.
I think it's probably the third one.
Is it third one? L.A.
Yeah.
Noire. Absolutely, absolutely.
Actually, yeah, that wouldn't be a bad one. I
Yeah,
didn't think
that
about
was a
that. That
really
wouldn't
good
be a bad
game.
one.
It didn't age great, but it's a really good game.
Not really.
I was watching one of the video game shows, and they were taking a look back at L.A. Noire. It was like a couple of weekends ago, and yeah, it didn't age great, but at that time, that was the first time
I
that we
didn't
had
know. It's,
the facial movements and
yeah,
being a detective, the stories, the knowing when someone's lying, having to look at the way they stutter or the way their eyes, would be
yeah.
that. I thought that was good at the time. So yeah, LA
Wow.
Noire, absolutely.
Speaking of LA Noir, there's a wow, okay, so this is interesting. Black Sand would be an interesting like animated movie.
I haven't heard of that. What's that?
So you so it's in a like animalistic world. You play a detective who is a
Okay.
panther. You have to solve a murder. It's literally like LA Noir just with animals.
Okay.
Pretty interesting. That would
Okay.
be it's actually like it's like a telltale as well. You have to make decisions
Really?
as it goes along. So that'd be an interesting animated movie.
Huh, let me write that down. Black
Yes.
Sand. I love to check out new stuff. Anyways, guys, listen, if there's a game out there that we didn't mention, please let us know. Black Sand. There we
Oh
go.
yes, I would love to.
Yeah, absolutely. Please let us know if there's something that we didn't mention. I really hope that you all enjoyed the show tonight. This is the first time that we are talking video games, and I was so excited. And when I met Jeson, I was just so excited that someone was excited about video games like I am. And play video games like I do. And just to bring up Shadow Man, like that's a gamer. That's a gamer. If
See, I
someone
can
brings up
circle it
Shadow
back to.
Man, that's a gamer. I'm sorry, but that is one of my favorite games. And the fact that he brought it up and that was on my list, those little things like that are gamers, okay? Just like the Prince of Persia, playing the first one to the last one, how they
Yeah,
changed his look. All those games are really
yes.
good, but for someone to know that, you know that you're talking to a gamer. So I absolutely appreciate you coming on and talking games with me, and I'd love for us to do this again.
Oh yes.
Another game or maybe a movie review we can do
Yeah,
together.
we can
So
definitely
I
do that.
absolutely would love to make you a friend of the channel. I believe he is, guys, a friend of the channel. So you will
Nice.
not see the last of Jeson. He's definitely going to come back to the show because we could talk all night long. Like
Oh,
this
this would
is
be
just
great.
a
Yeah.
great show. Have you had a good time with us
Oh
here?
yeah, no, this is great. I now know I need to expand my horizon a little bit in
Hey, me too.
terms of
Taught me
game.
some things as well. I had to do a lot of research because I wanted to make sure that I came with with the synopsis of the games and the
Yeah.
times or when the games came out, just to give you guys a little bit more information. I appreciate you guys joining us. Let's see, next week's show. I'm going to go live with John. We're going to review the menu. I'll
Ooh.
probably also be on the after party for The Last of Us with John De Gregorio for Movie Lovers Unite. Also, guys, check out my boy Alex Haynes for A Town Reviews. He's doing his thing. You can subscribe to his Instagram. All of those things will be in the description at the bottom. Thank you, Mari, for being in the chat and coming with facts. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jojo, for being in the chat. Mari, thank you for letting me know his name was Lee. I appreciate that because I mean, you need to know those things. You need to know
Right.
because when you play the game, Clementine Lee, go and play it. You'll know exactly where we're coming from. But
Check it
as
out.
always, guys, I always appreciate you guys joining me on the show. I always have a good time. Join us next week. We'll be doing the menu. Jeson, any shout outs, anything that's coming up that you want to speak of, please.
Mm, I don't have anything coming up soon, but just stay tuned. Something's cooking. Stay tuned.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jeson, again, is a writer, he's an actor, and you'll become very familiar with him because he will be back. All of his links, how you can reach him, will be in the description. And thank you guys for joining me tonight. Be good to each other. I'll see you next time. You guys know, give me a minute because you know it takes me a second to get myself together so we can get out of this little situation. All right. So, appreciate you all. Just a second. Let me get my stuff together. And we'll see you next week, guys. Appreciate ya.
Nah.